the Valley of the Sun. And for Giants fans, Scottsdale Stadium is the place to be as the orange and black prepare for the season ahead. With a core group of veteran players returning and important acquisitions from a busy offseason, it's a time of hope and optimism. Cactus League Baseball, Giants A's, next. Welcome to Scottsdale Stadium. It's the all-Bay Area matchup in the Sonoran Desert. The Giants hosting the Oakland Athletics. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with my crew code. Dwayne Kuiper is here. He'll be along in the middle innings. Welcome to Giants baseball from the Cactus League. And for the Giants, a double squad day. So everybody who's going to be there for opening day in action today. Buster Posey hit a home run over in Goodyear against Cincinnati. And we'll see Evan Longoria and some of the other Giants in this one. But Ty Block, who is still in the mix for one of those either the fourth or fifth starter spot, he is going, and he's had a pretty good spring.
He's had a great spring, and they'll look to sort of stretch him out a little bit with the pitch count. He'll be up around 75 to 80 pitches today. And it's also the same time of spring where you start to see the regular players start to stretch it out. They'll get 4 at-bats. They'll play 9 if they can. So if you're a guy who's on the bubble, some of these at-bats are hard to find. When you get one, you better take advantage of it. A lot at line right now for a lot of guys.
Bummer for us, though, that 8 new guys won't all come in at the same time in the 5th inning. We'll do the best we can, though. All right, the Giants and the Athletics. Cactus League Baseball. We'll be back with the lineups and the first pitch next. Since last weekend, the high today only about 71, 72 degrees, but just an ideal day to be out of doors in the later bit of the afternoon here as the Giants and A's play in sort of a twilight start on St. Patrick's Day, and a good bit of luck of the Irish to you and yours on this day. The batting order now for the Oakland Athletics as the Giants take the field. It'll be Franklin Barreto at shortstop. Matt Joyce, the DH. Stephen Piscotty Bay Area native, the former Cardinal, in right field. Matt Olson at first. Jake Smolinski, center field. Sheldon Noisy at third base. Bruce Maxwell, the catcher, hitting seventh. Anthony Garcia, left field. Steve Lombardozzi, the second baseman, batting ninth.
On the hill today for the Giants will be the left-hander Ty Block. Block, 27 years of age, in his second year at the big league level, 6'1", 213-pounder. And this is what he has done in 4 starts down here in Arizona. He's done well, 1-0 with a 2.92 ERA. And look at the strikeouts, 11 and 12 1/3 against just 1 walk. And that's what you get with Ty Block. You're going to get a quick worker. He's got a 4 or 5 pitch repertoire, depending on if you count his fastball as 2 different type of pitches. He will 2 and 4 seam him. He's got a curveball, changeup, and a slider. Fields his position very well, holds runners on very well. He's making a very, very strong case for a spot in the rotation this year. Let's take a look at the defense the Giants will employ behind Ty Block today, starting in their outfield from left to right. It's going to be Pence, Duggar, and Parker. Crawford, Longoria, they'll be on the left side of the infield. Panic and Belt on the right side. Nick Huntley, he'll be in the squad, putting down the sides.
So Ty Block, he and Chris Stratton both vying for the 4th and 5th spots in the rotation. Derek Holland has asserted himself, a former regular member of the rotation with the Texas Rangers, who's been in camp with the Giants, and he's been impressive. Andrew Suarez pitched today over in Goodyear against the Reds and pitched very well, and he's also still in the running. So you got at least 4 guys as a viable candidate for the 4th and 5th spots. And there's a called strike to Barreto, one of the top prospects in the Oakland farm system. Both teams are having split squads today. The Athletics also already had another game. 71 degrees, the official game time temperature here at Scottsdale Stadium, and a big crowd is on hand. There you get a look at the Giants defensive alignment and the panoramic view of the ballpark here. Brandon Crawford in the dirt, and by Brandon Belt. Barreto will hold on at first base. So Crawford did not have a whole lot on that throw.
Yeah, we listened to Brandon Crawford talk about controlled throws through most of spring training. And a controlled throw is just a balanced throw where you're just basically playing catch. You're not altering your arm angle, but as you start to get closer to the season, you're going to start taking the regular throws, and you have an assortment of arm angles. That one, kind of a low 3/4, almost a high sidearm. One up throwing a great sinker over to Brandon Belt. But those are things that he has to work out, and he usually tries to do that the last week before the season starts, so he's about right on time.
Matt Joyce now. Joyce went to the Athletics last year to add some power to their lineup, and he did. Joyce hit 25 home runs for the Athletics last year in 469 at-bats. He had been with the Pirates in the National League the year before. That's into the gap. One hop to the wall. A carom played by Duggar. Coming around third, heading home, Barreto, and he'll score a double for Joyce, and it is 1-0. Oakland, 2 batters in.
One thing we've noticed about Ty Block, I mean, he's like a lot of guys. In the first inning, there is a little bit of vulnerability simply because of location. You'll see him make more mistakes up early in the game than you will once he gets a rhythm. Here, a ball up right at the belt, T-ball location. And Matt Joyce knows just what to do with the location mistake.
On to the 3rd hit of the spring for Joyce. 3 for 20 now, his second double. And Stephen Piscotty. The count is 0-1. Piscotty, big, strong, powerful, and he takes low and inside. Piscotty, who is from the Bay Area, and he actually wanted to be traded back to the Bay Area, not just because he preferred to play there, but because his mother is suffering from what is called Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. And that is back out of play off to the right. And the Cardinals agreed. Out of Stanford. He's from Pleasanton originally. And was in the Cardinals organization the first 6 years as a professional. So a great human interest story. And we send all of our best wishes to his mom and the family. And he is caught looking on the inside corner. He walks away shaking his head. He did not like that call by Jim Reynolds, the plate umpire.
Well, Reynolds, I mean, he stayed with that pitch. I mean, this is pretty much his first pitch of the at bat was a fastball in. They got called a strike. So I'm thinking Piscotty didn't argue so much about the first strike, but he got him again. Jim Reynolds behind the plate, Jeff Nelson, Bill Miller, and Ron Copa, and that's your 4 umpires.
One out, runner at second, a run in. Here's Matt Olson. That's into left field. Pence on number 2. That ball was hit hard by Olson to the opposite field. He had one of the most spectacular debuts as a rookie last year. He actually did come up for only 11 games in 2016, but last year, about midway through the season, he got to the big leagues. He hit 24 home runs in 189 official at bats, which looks like a mistake.
That is unbelievable. I mean, you start thinking, well, what's he going to do when you give him 600 at bats? Well, the A's are going to find out.
He had already hit 23 homers in Nashville in 79 games. And in only 59 games in the big leagues last year, 24 home runs, which is just nuts. Here now is Jake Smolinski.
Well, and the A's, I mean, they've got to be drooling at the prospects of what this guy could do over a full year. I mean, that's power that doesn't come around very often. Those type of home run numbers in that few games.
He's only 24 years old. In fact, he's not even quite 24 yet. 12 days from now. Over the head of Jarrett Parker. And the second run of the inning scores. Joyce is across. Smolinski into second. The ball just jumps to right field. And that with the low-lying sun. And I don't know if Parker would have caught that one in any event, but it was not easy, and he could not get to it.
This really reminds you of Candlestick Park, the way this thing carries in sun at this time of the day. I mean, looking right into the sun. Nothing easy about that catch.
Two nothing Oakland. Here is Sheldon Neuse, N-E-U-S-E, pronounced Noisy. Out of the University of Oklahoma. He was both a pitcher and a hitter at Oklahoma.
I thought you were going to say he was from Boise. I don't know why.
Noisy from Boise?
Yeah, I mean, that's where my mind was going.
Born in Fort Worth.
Yeah, you can see the sky that Jarrett Parker is looking into, and it's getting lower. The saddles are going to get longer, and it's going to get even tougher.
Deep right center. A long run for Duggar. And it's gone. Well, we mentioned, maybe we should say it again. The ball carries very well to right field in particular. The wind is blowing out in that direction today. I thought that was just a high fly ball, but it just kept on going. So Oakland has 4 runs home here in the first.
Well, and pretty good opposite field power shown by Noisy, and I think that was his approach. But look at the location. It's up, and that's where they wanted it. They wanted that thing to cut in on the hands. It leaked a little out over the plate. And Noisy gives you an idea of how big and strong he is. I mean, he just flicked that thing out of here.
Seventh batter of the inning is Maxwell, the catcher, left-handed hitter all the way. Noisy, by the way, came from the Washington Nationals organization. Last year, a couple of weeks before the trading deadline, that was the deal that sent Sean Doolittle and Ryan Madsen to Washington. The Nationals really turned their bullpen into one of the best in the league in that one trade. 2-0 the count to Maxwell. This is the 20th pitch of the inning thrown by Block. And it's a strike. And the curveball misses. This inning got started with the throwing error by Brandon Crawford. And although he's had a few strikeouts in the spring, Block is a guy who he really depends on strong defense. The ball is most often going to be put in play against him. We mentioned Noisy and his power. That was his 4th home run of the springtime in the Cactus League. Brandon Belt, Block covering, and the inning is over. But a long inning it was for Ty Block. Giants are coming up, but already trailing 4-0. Stadium. And here's the batting order now for the Giants on this St. Patrick's Day. Joe Panik, second base. Brandon Belt at first. Evan Longoria, third base. Brandon Crawford hitting cleanup. Hunter Pence at left. Nick Huntley doing the catching. Jarrett Parker in right. Gregor Blanco, the DH. And Steven Duggar bats ninth in center field.
On the hill today for the Oakland Athletics will be the right-hander Andrew Triggs. Triggs 6'4", 232-pounder. He's got just about 2 years of big league experience. You take a look at the numbers he's had for spring. He's a perfect swing man. He made 12 starts for the A's last year. Was 5-6 with a 4.27 ERA, and a high sidearm delivery with a crossover step going to give him lots of sink, more effective down around the knees and up around the belt. I mean, he really reminds you a lot of Corey Guerin and the angle with which he releases the ball. He's got kind of a flat breaking ball, which is what you get when you lower your arm like that, and he's got to change up.
Good movement on that one, coming back and over the plate. Strike 2 call. Oakland's other squad lost over in Mesa at Hohokam Stadium, 4-1 to the Mariners. Sean Manaea started that game for the Athletics. Oakland had only 2 hits in that game. And that is out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They had a single by Chapman and a double by Jed Lowry, the only hits they had against Seattle in that one. The Giants' other squad playing in Goodyear against the Reds. And the Reds won that ball game 5-4. 2-2. In that game, the Giants had some pretty good talent playing over there in Goodyear. Austin Jackson, Andrew McCutchen, Buster Posey were all in the starting lineup over there. Buster hit a home run over in Goodyear. Austin Slater had a couple of hits in that one and a home run. And that's off the inside. Buster was 1 for 3 in the game. He's hitting .467 this spring.
That's pretty good spring.
He missed nearly 2 weeks after he rolled his ankle early in the spring. Didn't seem to affect his swing at all. There's a foul. 3-2 the count to Joe Paddock. He fell behind in the count initially against Triggs and has worked it full now. So he's making him work out here a little bit as the ball dude tracks that one down. Chris Stratton was the starting pitcher over in Goodyear, and he had a shutout going into the 5th inning of that game, but the Reds got 4 runs against him in the 5th. And another foul. That was the 9th pitch of this at bat. So Joe Paddock has already been quite a successful at bat as the first batter of the game, allowing all of his teammates to get a look at Triggs and what he's got. This is the 10th pitch. Left field, Anthony Garcia. And ultimately Triggs prevails, 1 away.
Let's take a look at Oakland's defense. Starting in their outfield from left to right, it'll be Garcia, Smolitsky, and Piscotty. Best arm in right field. Barreto, Noisy on the left side of the infield, Lombardozzi and Olsen on the right side. Bruce Maxwell, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Brandon Belt, .394 is his springtime average. 4 doubles, 3 home runs. 3 infielders swung over to the right side. They got the overshift on for him.
Giants with a St. Patrick's Day uniform. And they have the option to wear leggings, as Brandon Belt has decided to do.
Now, I'm a little colorblind, but is there some green on the leggings there?
Yeah, it's similar to the green on the jersey top. Green and white. Very festive. They all had a pretty good time putting them on. They had a few chuckles.
2-1. I know there's a little shamrock on those stockings. You got the MLB logo on the backside and on the calf, but on the other side, they're little shamrocks.
I mean, they're big in Munchkin land. They sell a lot of them.
So Brandon Belt could be the mayor of Munchkin City.
He could be the mayor of Munchkin City.
In the city of the land of Oz.
But like I say, I mean, they just enjoy it. I mean, to me, any player that doesn't like a new uniform, he's missing the point.
And Belt draws a walk. So 1 out, 1 on, and here comes Evan Longoria. Longoria also missed quite a bit of time with an ankle problem. He's had 6 hits and 20 at bats, 2 doubles and a homer. He got together with Bruce Bochy and they went over the rest of the Cactus League schedule, plus the games the Giants will play back in California. And Longoria kind of mapped out what he thought would be the ideal times for him to play and to try to stretch it out a little bit. Longoria, slightly open stance. Powerful hitter, 5 times in his career, 30+ home runs in a season. 2 years ago, 36 home runs for the Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays. And but last year only 20 home runs, so he's trying to get those numbers up a little bit again. Although, Mike, you and I were talking about this the other day. Even though the home run numbers were down, a lot of RBIs, the other production numbers were still pretty good.
He's always been a consistent, productive player. But you get an idea as to where he gets his strength from. Shake his hand, and it explains a lot.
That's a double play ball. There's one. Lombardozzi to Barreto, back to first. Did he pull him off the bag? Oh, he's able to keep the foot on. Olsen at first. Double play. The inning is over. And it will be Anthony Garcia to lead off for the Athletics here against Ty Block. Block gave up 4 runs, all unearned runs, as a result of the error on the first batter of the game committed by Brandon Crawford, which doesn't mean a whole lot here in the springtime. And while you appreciate it, I guess, Mike, if you give up 4 runs and they're all unearned in the regular season, since that shows up on your career record, on the other hand, is still 4 runs one way or the other.
It's still 4 runs, and that's exactly how Block's going to look at it. How did he give up the 4 runs? And really what he has to look at is his location. He's just up right now.
Garcia, right center field, and Parker, 1 away. Now Toyota by the numbers, brought to you by Toyota. Toyota, let's go places. The Giants are down to 46 players, 15 non-roster invitees still here. The breakdown, 20 are pitchers. They'll probably open the year with 12 pitchers. They've got 5 catchers here, 11 infielders, 10 outfielders. They optioned Ryder Jones to Sacramento today. Earlier in the week, the Giants made some wholesale moves, paring down the roster, and it could be that before the game tomorrow, there'll be several more cuts. Longoria throws out Steve Lombardozzi, 2 down. And the leadoff man, Barreto, will come up.
You know, the one day you really don't look forward to if you're a player who's probably going to get sit down, or a player on the bubble, and that's Monday. Monday's meal money day. And the difference between big league meal money used to be very significant to what minor league meal money is. That traditionally has been the day where you see most of the cuts.
So if you survived until Tuesday, you would already have gotten your full week's worth of meal money?
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't have to give any of it back? They don't call you, oh, that's a 5 days worth
On
of
further review.
base hit to right for Barreto, and he is on base again. He reached on the error in the first inning.
But guys that got sent out on Tuesday and Wednesday, they were dumbfounded. I mean, once they got past Monday, they're thinking, okay, I'm good. And then if you get popped on Tuesday, Wednesday, it hurts a little more.
Here comes Matt Joyce now.
Never feels good to get sent down or sent out. They say it's a learning experience. All it does is tick you off. But a lot of guys know it's going to happen. They've been told they're going to be in Double A or Triple A.
Called strike 1 to Joyce. He doubled his first time, knocking in the first run of the game.
I think it's actually harder for the older guys, the guys who are trying to make a job, the veterans. They're not going back down to the minor leagues. I mean, they either make the club or they're to see you later.
And they're hoping that somebody else will pick them up. 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Matt Joyce. Oakland ahead 4-0 in the second inning. There goes the runner, and a foul ball. Now, did you ever get sent down during spring training?
Oh, absolutely.
And did you know you were going to be sent down, or did you think right to the last year you might make it?
Well, 1975's first big league camp I went to, and there was a work stoppage. So everybody got to spring training late. So they had to get the guys ready. And if you were a young player, all you got was a good seat. You never saw the field. So we all knew we were going down. It actually was kind of a relief because you knew you'd start playing.
Strike 3 called. The big hook got him, and Joyce complains about the call. Brandon Crawford, then Hunter Pence coming up.
Anniversary home schedule. It starts off with a bang with fireworks night on April 6th. That's a Friday night presented by Alltech Lansing. On Saturday the 7th, the first 35,000 fans will receive a 60th anniversary Willie Mays bobblehead presented by AT. And on Sunday, the first 20,000 fans receive a Giants-Dodgers rivalry pin presented by Bank of America. You need tickets, go to sfgiants.com.
Giants and the Dodgers will be playing each other to begin the regular season Thursday, March the 29th. That's just 12 days from now, a week from this Thursday. And they'll play them in that homestand in San Francisco, and then they'll play them in another homestand later in the month of April. 10 of the Giants' first 28 games will be played against the Dodgers, which is bizarre, beyond bizarre. Is there a word that actually you can use for beyond bizarre?
Beyond bizarre? No.
Andrew Triggs on the mound facing Brandon Crawford, and just foul.
Off-speed pitch, weighted well. But he'll have to reload. Beyond bizarre. I don't know. We have to ask an old pitching coach. He'll have an answer for us.
Pitching coaches know everything. And let's just ask him right now. Kurt.
I hear you, John.
Hey, welcome, Kurt Young, the Giants' new pitching coach, formerly pitching coach for the Athletics. Do you have a word for us? Because you guys are going to be playing the Dodgers over and over and over again the first month of the season.
Yeah, we are. I'm listening to you guys. Beyond bizarre. And if Mike doesn't have an answer, the only thing I could say is probably crazy. I'm not sure of a word beyond bizarre.
Schedule maker is nuts. Okay. Well, Kurt, welcome to the Giants. And what about this pitching staff? There's some ferocious competition going on for those, I guess, the last two spots in the starting rotation to start with.
Yeah, for sure. Spring training is about competition. It's about going through the process and getting yourself ready. And no doubt, we have some things that have to be filled in here at the end of the spring training. And guys are pitching now, and we're going to see how they do.
Hunter Pence is the hitter. Kurt Young is here with us. Hunter's bat has started going here lately. That ball is just foul on the third base side. Strike two to Hunter Pence.
Kurt, one of the things on every pitching staff that is a significant role now as baseball has evolved is the swing man, the guy who can come out of the bullpen for you, but he can also spot start you. And you've got some pretty good competition for that role as well.
Yeah, anytime you get in that position, mainly when you're behind in the game, that guy is so important just to eat up those innings, to save your guys till late in the game when you can make a comeback, get a lead, and then they come in and finish the job. But you're right, you got to have that guy that you feel good that can pitch more than 1, 2, sometimes 3 innings in games when you're in that situation.
Well, who are some of the guys that you're considering for this year's role as the swing on this staff?
Well, right now we're in the position to stretching out Josh Osich a little bit, and Derek Law is getting some action, and any time a starter is pitching, if you don't make the team as a starter, you're in a position to be a long man or be a guy that can eat some innings up in the middle of the game.
2-2 the count to Hunter Pence. Kurt Young, the Giants' new pitching coach, is visiting with us, and it's 3-2 now to Hunter Pence. Now you mentioned Josh Osich. He went 2 1/3 the other night.
Yeah, he did. He did it in 27 pitches, which you love to see that. You love to see these guys being efficient. Pounding the strike zone is how you're going to do it, and he did that very well the other night. Actually, it was his longest outing in professional baseball. So you think about that. He's going to have to be efficient to be able to pitch a 1+ 2 innings for us, and I think he had a real good feeling at the end of his outing. He's really had a good feeling this entire spring training, pounding the zone, going back and forth, and he's been very impressive.
Another guy who threw well this week and has had a very fine spring is Derek Holland, a guy with a lot of big league experience. What have you seen from Holland?
Well, he's just got such a nice track record behind him, and he's feeling good. He tells me his arm feels as good as it's felt in quite a while, and he is a guy that definitely could be a big help for us. You know, he's got that class behind him, all that stuff he did in Texas. Always impressive when he pitched against our team, for sure. So he's a guy that definitely brings something that every team needs.
Kurt, one of the guys who's really kind of been a talk about this camp has been Julian Fernandez, the Rule 5 pitcher that has the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Would you like to have him all year?
Yeah, he's exciting. You get an arm like this, you don't see that very often, where he's been, you know, with his fastball, been consistent, 96, 7, 8. He's got a good feel for a curveball. He's got a good changeup for lefties, and it's been a great experience for him. You know, he came from low A baseball, which is quite a jump, but every outing he seems to be getting a little more comfortable. We're going to see him today. We're going to try and stretch him out today and just see how he reacts to being out there longer than 1 inning, making pitches, and the same thing. He needs to be efficient, and he's one of those guys that's hard to hit.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing him. Kurt Young, welcome. Giants' new pitching coach. Many thanks.
Thanks, John and Mike.
Double play grounded into by Hundley. 4-0 Oakland after 2.
The happy hour on NBC Sports Bay Area and NBCSportsBayArea.com. Also available to listen live and as a podcast on NBCSportsBayArea.com. 3 of our favorites right there. That's a great show.
Check it out.
You will be entertained.
Stephen Piscotty leads off here in the Valley of the Sun against Ty Block. And the good changeup, 0-1. Piscotty, the Bay Area native, went to Amador High School in Pleasanton. The Dodgers drafted him out of high school, but he went to Stanford. That's deep into center. Still going, and above the leap of Duggar. Piscotty still going, and he's going to make it to third, standing up a triple to the deepest part of the yard. It's 430 feet to straightaway center field here. And the wind is blowing out.
It's a little scary to be pitching right now. You get an idea of the carry. It's just a backspin fly ball, looking pretty routine. I mean, he hits this thing. Remember, it's 430 out to center, so you're thinking there's plenty of room out here. At no point did I think this was going to be a ball that hit off the batter's eye. And not even Duggar can flag it down, so a leadoff triple.
Duggar would have had to be about 1.5 feet taller to catch that one. Giants infield moves in. Here is Matt Olson, the young slugger, who had 24 homers in 59 games for the Athletics last year. That was some all-time groove that he was in. That is in for a called strike, and that breaking ball had him buckling at the knees.
When you throw a good breaking ball to a hitter and you buckle him, you think you could do it again.
He did not hit his first major league home run last year until June 24th. That was after he had been called up for the 4th time. It didn't just all of a sudden just happen when he first arrived. He was up and down and up and down and up and down, and finally the 4th time he got called up, that's when he hit his first home run. That is a check swing foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He just got a piece of it.
Well, his batting practice is entertaining, and I've always believed the really true home run hitters, they didn't have to hit the ball good to get out of the ballpark. Their fly balls were home runs, and that's kind of what you say watching this guy take BP. He didn't have to get 100% to get over the wall.
Piscotty tagging at third. Duggar, and Piscotty will score easily. 5-0 Oakland, a sacrifice fly for Olson, and he's hit the ball very hard twice now against Ty Blach. A couple of line drive outs. Olson, you mentioned it wasn't until the 4th time that he was called up last year that he hit his first homer. He ultimately would get called up 6 times. Even when he hit 2 homers in a game, that was not enough to keep him in the big leagues. And they finally called him up for good August the 8th, and he hit 20 home runs from that August the 8th on in what, 41 games. 20 homers from there. And Smolinski quickly behind on the count 0-2.
Well, and what everybody in baseball does is they'll see how many home runs he has, how many at bats he has, and they'll just simply multiply it, anticipating he's going to get 600 at bats. So if a guy's got that many home runs in less than 200 at bats, he's on a 60+ home run pace.
In his case, it would be he'd be on pace for about 78, 80 home runs. Giants baseball is brought to you by Toyota, designed for the grind, and that comes through every time. Go see your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. We're in the 3rd inning, 2 down, nobody on. Here is Sheldon Noisy, who hit a home run to right center his first time. Two and 0. Ty Blach, who got married in the offseason. Tyler Beatty also scheduled to work today. Got married in the offseason. 3-0 the count now to Noisy. And 3-1 now. Giants have a game tomorrow in Scottsdale, but not in this ballpark, up at Talking Stick. And they will take on the Rockies there tomorrow. Deep center field. Duggar on the run, still going back. That's off the hitter's backdrop. And Noisy has hit a couple of extra base hits now. A home run to right center, and then this double to the deepest part of the yard near the 430-foot marker.
Again, just an easy swing, not an overkill. Backspins it, and then watch it carry. Got a big high leg load, but not a whole lot of hand action.
Bruce Maxwell, the catcher. Ball 1. Maxwell grounded out to first his first time. This will be the 51st pitch of the day thrown by Blach. He got a glove on that one. Now the second baseman panicked with the spin pivot. Throws him out. And he just might have kept that one from going through into center field by getting the glove on it there. The inning is over.
Mark, your special event package will include a game ticket to see the Giants take on the Dodgers and an Irish-themed cap. A reminder, to receive the cap, you need to purchase this special event ticket. Go to sfgiants.com/special events.
In the sunshine here in the Sonoran Desert, the Valley of the Sun. Triggs spins that one in there for a called strike to Jarrett Parker. Gregor Blanco and Steven Duggar to follow. They've got the overshift on. 3 infielders to the right of second. Nobody at third base at all. That came back over the inside. Strike 2 call.
Front door sink. Perfectly placed. That's a nice 2-pitch combination from Triggs. I mentioned Triggs doesn't, because of his angle, he doesn't have a lot of tilt to his breaking ball. It's flat.
1-2.
But because it's flat, it's big. And because it's big, you can give up on it early. He's got the kind of a curveball. If you're hitting off from the left side, you really have to be patient because he'll backdoor you a lot with that flat little frisbee slider.
Got right in on the hands there. Fought it off. We're in the third inning, 5-0 Oakland. Dwayne Kuiper over in the KNBR radio booth, and he'll be sliding over here in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings to join Mike Krukow. It'll be interesting to see how you guys work together. If it really goes well, I'm going to recommend that they put you on, say, all the NBC Sports Bay Area games together.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So good luck. I don't want to put pressure on you, but
I think you just jinxed it. Smoothie.
Two and two the count now. Did he swing? Yes, he did. And that's all for Jarrett Parker.
Boy, nothing burns a hitter more than that, where you don't get a good swing on. It's perfect location. His little sinker in the outside corner. Movement running away. You get out after it. About halfway into it, you think, I can't get to it. You stop. And that is a rough at bat.
Gregor Blanco now. By the way, we saw Mark Bromley and his beautiful family here today. Mark, who's from the Bay Area but lives down here now. He's the general manager. He runs the Four Seasons Hotel up in North Scottsdale, one of the great resorts down here, and a big baseball fan. So he and his wife and their young family all here together enjoying the all Bay Area matchup here. A little slice of home for the Bromleys, who now live here in the Valley of the Sun. His dad, Stan Bromley, the great former hotelier of the world, and his wife Julia, great Giants fans back in the Bay Area. But Mark, he's the hotel guy now.
He's the new force in the hotel world.
Yes. 1-2 the count to Gregor Blanco. Gregor, he's trying to win a job with this team. He's taking nothing for granted. But because he's got a pretty good track record in the big leagues, and he's still in great shape, he's got great speed, he's an excellent defensive player in the outfield. So far, you'd think he's looking pretty good to win a spot. But we'll see. It's not determined just yet who's going to make it and who will not. But Gregor is hitting .400 for the spring. 8 hits, including 2 doubles, 2 triples, and a homer. And Triggs gets him. Second straight strikeout, 2 down.
All right, time now for our Jeep Play. It's brought to you by the new 2019 Jeep Cherokee. March 4th against the Dodgers. Steven Duggar Top of the second, had a diving catch to take a hit away from Chase Utley, and then the bottom of the third, he comes up and whoop! It's a home run off of Kenta Maeda, and it was a long potato.
Duggar, and he was hot earlier in the spring, and that's cooled off considerably. Now hitting .273, got 4 homers and a double, 9 hits, 33 at bats.
Well, he's still having good at bats, and even when he's not hitting, he can still work a count, get a lot of pitches, get a walk. And that's important. You have to find a way to get on base even when you're not hitting.
Called a strike.
It's amazing, and you don't think much about a walk when you're in amateur baseball. When you get to professional ranks at the big league level, walks are good as they be. I mean, that takes patience, a good eye.
Especially when you have speed. When you can steal a base, that walk can turn into something much more. That one bends in there for a called strike. 1-2 the count to him now.
One thing we noticed about Duggar early on is he likes to sit fastball a lot. Rare that you see him really time to an off-speed pitch early in the count. And then a lot of guys are doing that down here in spring training. That's not really a big news flash. Dwayne Kuiper said when he was a player, he didn't even start thinking, look for anything else but a fastball until the last 4 days. But it is definitely something you notice with young hitters, a little more than veterans.
And the A's refuse to throw him a fastball continually here. 2-2. Steven Duggar. Joe Paddock on deck. 2 down, nobody on. Ooh, on the outside, and he kind of snuck one by him there. Strike 3 call. Struck out the side to Triggs. Dwayne Kuiper will be along for the 4th inning. 5-0 Oakland.
Responds or Telemundo 48 Responde. They've recovered more than $1.5 million for Bay Area consumers. Call 1-888-996-TIPS or visit NBCBayArea.com/responds. Whether in English or Spanish, they respond to every call, every email. NBC Bay Area, we investigate. Top of the 4th inning, it's 5-0 A's, and here to tell you all about it, my old pal Dwayne Kuiper.
All righty. So here's Anthony Garcia to lead things off. And a pitch down low from Ty Block, who has pitched okay. I think he's got spring training in Arizona a few times, but that's going to happen. And when you say that, you don't ever want to take away from what a hitter's done. They've hit the ball pretty well off a block.
They have, and he's had a lot of mistakes up that they have not missed.
High and deep into center field. Duggar back again. And it's off maybe the top of his glove. is Garcia is going to trot into second base with a double. That's the third ball that has been hit off that big green monster in center field. It's almost as if it's a target.
Well, and you want to emphasize that it is 430 feet away, but there's the high mistake, out over the belt, backspin. Anthony Garcia is strong, and he takes on the deep part of this yard. Now he gets a little help from Mother Nature, but bottom line is, every time Ty Blach is making a mistake up, he's not fooling anybody.
So here's Lombardozzi. And a fake pickoff attempt. If Duggar hadn't had any experience working that wall in center field, he's made up for it today. And the pitch is down low. Giants been streaky. They've lost 4 in a row. Prior to that, they'd won 6 in a row. And that doesn't mean anything. But now is the time where Bruce Bochy is going to want his team to start looking like a real good team.
Well, he wants to see good defense. He wants to see good at bats. He wants to see guys that have a plan, that have anticipation, and then he wants to see a rhythm, both in the lineup and on the field, start to develop. This game is all about rhythm, and you know, the early part of spring, these guys weren't playing with one another. Now you're going to start to see the everyday lineup go out there, and you're going to see them play with one another.
Squirts away from Hundley, but he recovers. It's 3-0.
With the hopes that you start to get a rhythm. And there are 2 different types of rhythm. I mean, there's a defensive rhythm and there's an offensive rhythm. All spring long, we have been anticipating as to how Bruce Bochy is going to set up the lineup. Who's going to lead off? Who's going to hit second, third, so on down the line. I mean, there's no real spot that is clearly defined. And that all has to come into a much more clear picture as we head towards the bell ringer opening day.
So Hundley's chat with Blach is over.
It's a visit.
Yeah, by the way, I'm not sure that, I think you missed the production meeting. You're in charge of visits this year.
Well, we had a conversation with Ed Montague, who was a big league umpire for 34 years, and now he is in charge of umpires and evaluating umpires.
Into the gap, and again, nobody's going to get it. Izzetto split Pence and Duggar, and it's another extra base hit, and it's 6-0. It's no fun when you're up, isn't it?
No. When your location is up and you can't make the adjustment to get down around the knees, you're kind of at the mercy of the hitter. Now look, we see Ty Blach use that cut fastball a lot that's up, but it runs in on the hands of the hitter, and right now he's not getting that cut. He's just a lazy duck out there over the middle of the plate, and just not good location.
Here's Barreto. And a strike to Barreto, who's 1 for 2, reached on an error in the first.
The rule we're talking about is this year you're allowed 6 visits to the mound during a ball game. Now, if you go out and change a pitcher, bring in a new pitcher, that doesn't count as a visit. But there are some interesting quirks to this. I'll give you an example of what we learned today. If you're a catcher and you go out to the mound and you're talking to the pitcher, if the pitching coach comes out after you've gone out there, that's 2 visits. So baseball is going to have to learn some of the quirks of this new rule.
And the pitch is down low.
I asked Eddie, I said, okay, what if the catcher's out there, now all of a sudden the second baseman comes in? He goes, no, that's not one. He says, but if there's a pass ball and the pitcher comes in to home plate to cover with a guy at third, if he comes, he's standing at home plate, catcher gets the ball, comes back up to him, flips the ball. If the pitcher turns around and walks back towards the mound and the catcher follows him, takes a couple steps from home plate towards him, that's a visit. Talking to him. So you want to be an umpire? Good luck with all that.
On the ground to third, Longoria with a really nice play, but his grounder to Belt is not in time. It'll be an infield hit. This is what my partner's talking about.
Definition of a mound visit: manager or coach trip to confer with a pitcher, a player leaving position to confer with a pitcher, pitcher leaving mound to confer with a player. If the team runs out of visits, the home plate umpire can, upon request, allow a mound visit by a catcher due to a cross-up of signals. And we will see that. But this is going to be something that's going to take a while for everybody to make the adjustment with. Not a lot of attention is being paid to it now, but it will come the regular season.
Here's Matt Joyce, who's 1 for 2. Joyce a double in the first, then he struck out looking in the second. And that pitch is high. It's 2-0.
It's kind of weird in that it is St. Patrick's Day and both teams are wearing green. A's do it every day, but for the Giants, this is kind of a novel day. You look down the bullpens, looks like both bullpens are Oakland bullpens.
Yeah, it does. In tight, it's 3-0. I wish I could get Eddie back here. I'd like to ask him one question.
What would you ask him?
What's the punishment? I don't think they've dished out any punishment. So if there's no punishment, what's the big deal?
Well, it's to be determined, but it's got to be a fine, or it's got to be something that's significant.
Well, do you think they might add that to what we're talking about?
Oh,
Hold on. You know what? Here's a bouncing ball to Panic. They'll get 1. They'll get 2. A run will score. You've had 6 visits. We'll let you know what the fine is later on.
There'll be something taken out of your paycheck in 2 weeks. I don't know. They could play an inning without a hat on.
Here's Piscotty. Piscotty, he knocked one off the batter's eye in center field. 7-0. On the ground, and Longoria another opportunity, and that'll end the inning. A's pick up a pair. 7-0 Oakland. On NBC Sports Bay Area and KNTV. You can see the 22nd game. It'll be against the Cubs. That's a night game. And then the 23rd against Kansas City. That would be a day game. And then back in the Bay Area, the games on Monday and Tuesday. I think it's the 26th and 27th. The Monday game will be on NBC Sports Bay Area And the Tuesday game will be on NBC Sports Bay Area Plus. There you go. Here's Panic. Panic with a swing and a miss. He hit a fly ball to left field in the first inning. Peter McGowan's here. We've just took a wave at Larry Nibby. A couple of guys instrumental in keeping this team here in San Francisco. And there's a pitch in tight. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Gonna have dinner with Peter McGowan tonight. Looking forward to that. Chance to visit, catch up. We know what we're going to be talking about. Non-stop baseball.
2-1 pitch to Panic. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Well, I got to tell you something. Andrew Triggs has been pretty impressive.
He has. He made 12 starts for the A's last year. Then he had a labrum tear in his hip, and that was it. He was done. Big guy, 6'4", 235 out of SC.
Foul.
Has not been a good week for the Oakland Athletics. I mean, they lost a significant guy, Jarrell Cotton, who was very impressive last week against the Giants in Mesa.
And the first hit for the Giants is a Joe Panic single.
Cotton's going to be out for the year.
Yeah, that, you know, you look at this A's roster and you start circling the guys that you can't wait to see play, and he's one of them.
Yeah. Really exciting young right-hander.
So here's Belt. Belt, typical of Belt, he fell behind and then drew a walk in the first inning. There's a fastball high. There's another event this week that touched your life. Augie Garrido died, your old college baseball coach and a longtime coach in the college ranks, and I think the all-time winningest coach.
Yeah.
We saw him last year at the ballpark. There's a pitch in tight.
Last September. No, this came out of nowhere for us. I mean, we were shocked. Augie was at San Francisco State, Cal Poly. He was at Fullerton State, University of Illinois, then at the University of Texas. Boy, I was rocked by it. Learned a lot of baseball from that man.
So he told me last year when you left the booth that you were one of the big reasons he left Cal Poly to go to Fullerton State. Said another couple of years with Kruk, I'm out.
Well, but you know what Augie did? He joined a lot of people. I mean, the guy in the batter's box, Brandon Belt, played for Augie at University of Texas. Phil Nevin last year played for him at Cal State Fullerton.
Belt takes wide.
Yeah, I played for him back in 1971. Gives you an idea how long he was coaching and how much baseball he taught. We're going to miss Augie. From Vallejo.
A Vallejo kid. 3-1 to Belt. 3-2 to Belt.
It's a funny feeling when you take a swing and your hand comes off the bat.
Now the shift is on as Noisy's going to head to the right of second base. Longoria on deck. And the pitch. And the walk, so Belt does it again. Here's Longoria. Longoria falls into that category of a Gold Glover. Look out, and it hits Longoria on a curveball.
That is the last thing that Andrew Triggs wanted to do, and that's hit Longoria with that big floater breaking ball. That doesn't even leave a bruise. Just to get it in, flop breaking ball, it really doesn't do a whole lot. If you're going to hit a guy, you want to hit him with a fastball. At least leave a bruise.
So I was talking about Longoria, right?
Yeah.
Hit with power, gold glove, good guy. Sounds a lot like the guy standing next to Bob Melvin, Matt Williams.
Yep. A lot of similarities. There's the big Marin. Look like he's got his midseason game face strapped on.
I know. Somebody go throw some sand in his face right now. Here's Crawford, and Crawford with a check swing on the appeal. Bill Miller says, I don't think so. 1 ball and no strikes. There's Matt.
And he wants to manage again, and I'm glad he's back in the game. He's going to coach third base this year for Oakland.
If I'm a former Giant great, I don't manage the Nationals ever. I don't take the job.
No. No, I agree.
Matt Williams, Dusty Baker. Hasn't changed much, has he?
No, still in great shape.
On the ground foul. It's now 1-2. He was part of many pre and post game shows for us last year.
Did a great job. I mean, he's done everything in the game. He's played it, he's coached it, he's managed it. He has been a broadcaster. He has been a force in the front office.
What Ron Peronowski said, the only thing he hadn't done is Spanish radio. Crawford rolls 1 to second. This could be 2. That's 1 and a pair. But the good news is the Giants are on the board.
Third double play turned by Oakland in this game.
So here's Hunter Pence. I watched you guys when I was over on the radio side. You got a good close-up of Hunter's socks. I don't think the green is quite going with the green top and the socks, by the way. From a distance, it just looks like they're blue. Breaking ball, 1 ball and no strikes. But he can pull it off.
Well, he and Brandon Bell are always going to wear the leggings. They like the high cut with the pants right around the knees. Last year, Hunter Pence in the middle of a slump, he wore his uniform.
To left, and a base hit. As Garcia got a late jump, and Hunter Pence with an RBI single. His belt scores.
Garcia, he really thought he was going to get more fly ball than what he actually got.
I agree.
And I think that can happen when you have a guy in the batter's box that has a lot of power.
So, coming out is my partner's second favorite catcher. And he's going to get the ball from Andrew Triggs. We'll let you know who's coming in. Giants on the board. right, well, again this summer, the A's and the Giants face off in the Babe Ridge Series, but this year the stakes will be raised. Find out how with a special announcement coming on March 26th. The Giants play the A's 6 times this summer, all around the All-Star break. Weekend series in San Francisco on July 13, 14, 15, and then 3 in Oakland, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. So wait for that special announcement coming on March 26th. Chris Bassett's the pitcher. Hundley is the hitter. Giants have scored twice. Pence is at first, and the pitch. And it's down low.
Chris Bassett, the new pitcher now for Oakland, 29 years old. A little over 2 years at the big league level. This is what he's done this spring. He hasn't been all that wonderful for him. He came over to Oakland in the deal that brought Jeff Samardzija to the A's. That was back in 2014. He got a little big league time with the White Sox and the A's.
Yeah, people have a tendency to forget on that team was Lester and Samardzija. The difference that year is the Giants won their wild card game and the A's lost. And the A's had a good team.
Yes, they did.
And Kansas City just kept coming back in the final game. Hundley fouls it at the plate.
Long shadows. Really tough to see in right field right now.
Down low, the walk.
Four o'clock starts are just such an odd time. And you know somebody in the outfield or the infield is going to have a rough outing because of the sun.
Well, good luck on opening day.
4 o'clock start in Los Angeles. Giants Madison Bumgarner taking on Clayton Kershaw. Game 1 of the 2018 campaign, and they will have to deal with shadows both on Thursday's opener and Sunday's finale.
So here's Parker, who struck out in the 3rd. Parker's usually good for a couple of home runs against the A's.
I mean, you know, if you're facing Bumgarner or Kershaw as a hitter in game 1, I mean, that itself, with no shadows or distraction, that itself is tough. Now all of a sudden you have a shadow between home plate and the mound and kind of a rough background. Good luck.
There's a strike. It is one of the days throughout the year where there's a certain group of people that want it to be overcast, and they're called hitters. 0-2 to Parker. Bassett. Deals. Outside. 1-2. Full house here today at Scottsdale Stadium.
And the last weekend in Scottsdale. Giants break Arizona, break camp next Friday. We have never said it feels like a fast spring training or it's gone by quickly, and it has been that way this year.
One-two pitch. It's blocked by Maxwell. 2-2. Oh, Mike. The seasons are going fast for us.
Yeah, that's right.
Whoa.
Our dads were right.
Slow down, will you? Two balls, 2 strikes. Pretty good eye from Parker, he was 0-2 to Bassett, and going to see a 3-2 pitch, and tough to look for something, but Facet has not been afraid to throw that breaking ball. And the walk.
Good pitch. Facet thought it was over. Take a look at ball 4 and watch the body grimace from Bassett. Ew.
I think that's been called a strike today.
Absolutely has been.
Well, here's Blanco. Blanco struck out in the 3rd. Giants an opportunity to make a game of it. And this is popped to left for Garcia, who is going to stand near the line and make the catch. And in 1 pitch, that'll end the inning. Giants on the board twice. We'll head to the 5th. 7-2 A's.
It's a 4:15 start time. First 20,000 fans through the gates receive a Catch 22 t-shirt. Take advantage of our special Catch 22 ticket offer. 2 tickets for only $22. Go to sfgiants.com/Catch22.
I'm going to make sure you get a couple of those. Catch 22, baby.
I'm on board. I mean, he's a good guy.
Here's Matt Olson and a shot on the ground. And Brandon Belt to tie block a couple of lefties. Olson has hit the ball hard 3 times. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI. So here's Smolinski.
Now, we've been talking about how hard it is to see from the guys on the right side of the field. I mean, that was a one-hop ground ball, and it looked like Belt he struggled a bit. I never thought it could bother you on a ground ball.
No. Smolinski takes a strike. He's doubled and he's struck out. Breaking ball? No. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Not by much.
Hook foul and a souvenir. Look out.
Heads up.
Saw Jeremy Affeldt today.
He looked like he'd go out and pitch right now. Great shape.
There was an accusation made in front of the manager today that he looks in better shape now than he did when he pitched. And the manager wholeheartedly agreed.
Yeah, well, you know, they've had a little something going on between the two of them for a long time. They enjoy teasing one another. But bottom line is, he does look like he can go out and throw.
Got him underneath the hands. Smolinski's gone. 4 strikeouts for Block, and here's Sheldon Noisy.
Say the same thing about Javier Lopez. He looks like he could walk right out there and give you an inning.
Yeah.
Just like you and me.
Affeld's response when I mentioned that, he said, well, with Lopez, his genes are so good, he just looks like that all the time. He said, with me, I worked at this. Like, got it.
Well, you and I have been telling each other that for a long time.
Yeah, we work for what we've got right now.
It's true.
Here's a 1-0 pitch on the ground, and Panic. Nice clean backhand, and that'll end the inning. For the Giants, Steven Duggar is going to lead things off. The real hot spots here at Scottsdale Stadium is the Giants dugout store. Scott Wickersham, Melissa English. They're probably in that store somewhere, and if you see them, give them the secret handshake, and they might actually, well, they're not going to do anything. They're going to sell you something really nice. That's what they're going to do. And they do have some pretty cool stuff in there.
You can't walk in there without coming out with something. Today it's the green hat that is selling. St. Patrick's Day, a traditional green Giants hat.
The new pitcher is Eric Jokic.
Take a look at what he has done in 5 games, 7 strikeouts in 5 innings. He's got 4 pitches, good curveball.
Third base side, Noisy, no chance. And it rolls down the right field line, and into second. It's Duggar with a Little League double, folks.
Well, a good bunt. I mean, there was going to be no chance that Noisy was going to have to get him. But here's where it's a bit of a gamble. You're always going to have a second baseman down the line backing it up. And Duggar, I mean, he likes his wheels. He believes in them. And here's the Little League double one more time. Noisy throwing wide. And now here's where Duggar says, I think I can make it.
By the way, I got to get rid of this helmet. It's a little heavy. Here's Panic, who takes low. Joe Panic with the Giants' first hit of the game, a single in the 4th. Bottom of the 5th. There's a strike. 90 miles an hour from Eric Jokic. Panic tops one to second. So Lombardozzi makes the play, and Duggar goes to third. Here's Bell.
All right, for Jokic, the lefty, facing a lefty, runner at third, less than 2 outs. This is a strikeout situation. This is what Bob Melvin, the skipper for the A's, wants to see.
Belt hits a high fly ball to left. Garcia is going to make the catch as he goes down to a knee. Coming in to score is Duggar. And for Belt, that's a sacrifice fly.
Garcia, he didn't look very comfortable out there, and he's not dealing with sun at left field. What a productive at bat. There's Anthony Garcia. Yep, that fly ball had him shaking his head. Because I know I shouldn't have worn these socks. They can affect your defense.
Yes, they can. Here's Longoria, and he chases the first pitch, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Longoria wrapped into a double play in the first and then was hit on a slow breaking ball, hit by a pitch in the fourth.
He comes into the hitting zone. He is so geared for right center field.
And a base hit to left. So Longoria with a 2-out single, and that'll bring up Crawford.
You know, it's not a bad philosophy. I mean, think fastball, think the opposite gap, but if a guy throws you something off speed, he speeds your bat up, and that's what you pull. Just a small stride, knees between his feet, just great balance, and a very relaxed bat head throw.
So here's Crawford. Crawford is 0 for 2. Chases and fouls it back and out of play. Crawford a strikeout victim in the second, and then he rolled into a 4-6-3 double play in the fourth. He takes low. Hunter Pence is on deck. Strike in the outside corner. 1-2.
Randy Crawford asking Jim Reynolds. Yeah, I think that may be a little outside. What do you think, Jeff? The argument you never win.
Line drive, center field. Smolinski's going to play it on a hop. So the 1-2 pitch, Crawford singles. And here's Hunter Pence. Pence with a walk and an RBI single. Strike. Hundley's on deck if Pence extends the inning.
Hunter Pence this last week has started to find his swing.
Tapped to short. And a little wide throw by Burrito, but staying on the bag is Lombardozzi. 7-3 A's.
changing 27 laws and policies while investigating more than $10 billion in public money. If you have a tip, contact NBC Bay Area at 1-888-996-TIPS or visit NBCBayArea.com/we investigate. NBC Bay Area, we change laws, we change lives, we investigate.
Here you see 7-3 Athletics. This is Julian Fernandez, who's on the hill.
Well, he has been the project all spring long. Rule 5 guy, 6'6", 205-pounder. And he has got a great fastball. It's been consistently at high 90s, and he's got a good changeup and a curveball. I mean, all his pitches are quality. Just a matter of being able to command them and find the comfort zone.
Facing Maxwell.
The Giants would love for Julian Fernandez to make this club. He has to make this club or he'll be offered back to the Colorado Rockies. A Rule 5 player that's claimed has to be in the big leagues.
Hit on the ground and into right field, a base hit for Maxwell. This is Ty Block's final line. He allows 7 runs, 3 of which were earned, 5 innings, 9 hits.
Man, a lot of mistakes up too. That's what cost him on a day with a lot of wind blowing the ball out. I mean, he paid the price for it. Good news, no walks. Bad news, 9 hits in 5 innings and a lot of those extra base hits.
Here's Anthony Garcia.
Block's not going to be happy with today, but he's not going to overanalyze it.
Here's a called strike.
Wind still continues to blow out straight. Center field, perhaps a little bit to right center field, but lots of carry.
And another strike. Yeah, lots of carry. Ty Block found that out. Sheldon Noisy hit an opposite field home run. And then 3 balls hit off the batter's eye, which is 430 feet away. And there's a high fastball. All in the high 90s. It's 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Look out. Hit the bat.
Fair ball.
They hit the bat, and they're going to throw him out. Unbelievable.
That's a strange at bat.
The only time I've ever seen that, remember the old clips of it happened to Willie Stargell?
Yeah, I do.
I have never seen it happen since till then.
Well, it's a breaking ball, the first one he's throwing. Now remember, here's a guy who's throwing 98, 99 miles per hour. So you're aware of that as a hitter getting in the box. Well, he corks a breaking ball, and it's not that easy to see right now. And watch Garcia. It hits the bat, and he doesn't even know where it's at. And Nick Hundley goes, that's a fair ball. Credit Longoria, who was quick to the ball. They wound up getting me out. That is a strange at bat.
Yeah, you're right. It is a nice play by Longoria, who's thinking, what? So here's Lombardozzi. Strike to Lombardozzi.
All right, one more time. And this is what Longoria sees, and he had zero hesitation. To him, that was just like a bunt play.
In the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. We talked to Bruce Bochy before the game. He was hoping to get a couple innings out of Fernandez.
Well, what the Giants are hoping is that he finds a point of relaxation. I mean, he's so amped up being out there in this environment. Remember, he played low A ball last year.
Get on the ground to sure-handed Joe Panic. So 2 down.
Well, St. Patrick's Day, perhaps you could anticipate something a little odd or extraordinary, and that's exactly what this is. Garcia, he had no idea where it was. And Fernandez says, that's how I dreamt it up.
Both smiling. What does John say? Cactus League friendly?
Cactus League friendly. Giants A's today.
Here's Barreto, and that's to the backstop, and it carries right back to Hundley. So Maxwell will stay at third. That's what you're going to get out of Fernandez. You're never going to quite know where it's going.
Well, I mean, that's a catcher's nightmare, too. A runner at third base. You got a little shine in the batter's eye, so he's not seeing it great like the hitter isn't. And all of a sudden, the guy throws a 99-mile-an-hour scud with a fastball. Good luck.
High fastball at 98. It's 2 balls and no strikes. (7-3) Oakland. 6th inning. Maxwell at third, 2 outs. Foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. Old Town Scottsdale's hopping this weekend. It usually is during spring training anyway, but St. Patrick's Day weekend, it is jumping.
It is.
I mean, you and I stayed up until 10:30 last night. There's a high pop-up foul down the right field line. Belt giving chase. He's pretty good at these, and he's going to run out of room.
Don't get hurt.
No.
All right. Measured. I mean, there's a lot of area on the foul, between the foul line and the stands here. He came close. Yeah, we stayed up till 10:30, but we had like 11 naps.
Oh yeah.
Nap jerks. So I came to the ballpark today, and I had a neck brace on.
Of course.
Because of those neck jerks.
2 balls and 2 strikes. In the dirt. It gets all the way to the backstop. And aboard at first is going to be Barreto. A run comes in.
Well, I mean, the continuing nightmare for Nick Hundley. This is a curveball. And it wasn't even close to home plate. I mean, that's halfway into the left-handed batter's box.
So here's Matt Joyce. Joyce is up now for the 4th time. And a called strike. Pitches down low. You mentioned we were going to have dinner tonight with Peter McGowan. It's not the first time we've had dinner with Peter McGowan, but it might be the first time we've had dinner with him before 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, he and his wife Debbie, they like to eat a little later than normal. But it's always, a 3-hour meal because you're going to have conversation, and it never stops.
Oh my goodness!
He is one of the most passionate people I've ever met when you start talking about baseball.
In tight. 2 balls and 1 strike.
With Peter, you're going to learn something historically about the Giants. grew up in New York, rooting for the New York Giants.
Two balls, one strike. Down low, 3-1.
And when the Giants went west in 1958, mentally he went right with them. That was his team.
So Fernandez needs to throw a strike right here. And he does, and it's fouled by Joyce. It's 3-2. I think you've said it so many times, Mike. It's not the velocity that impresses big league hitters, but it's still pretty impressive. You can throw 98, 99, and if you can throw it for strikes.
With movement.
So a full count.
But there aren't that many Justin Verlanders around.
And on the ground to Panic. Panic has it as he backpedals a bit, and that'll end the inning. Bottom of the sixth coming up. 8-3 A's. So, new pitcher is Daniel Gossett. So there's Gossett.
Fourth time he has pitched in a spring training game. Gossett, 25 years of age. He's got 91 days in the big leagues. And has been a starter his whole life. 4-pitch guy. Really good changeup. High 3/4 release. Just chews up right-handed hitters. Righty's hitting $143 against him.
So here's Hundley. Hundley 0 for 1 with a walk. Down low. Garneau is the new catcher. And out in left field is Ramirez. And a little flinch by Reynolds. It's 2 balls and no strikes. So Tyler Ramirez and Dustin Garneau. Nope, 3-0. John Miller will be back in the 7th inning. And a walk to Hundley.
Remember St. Patrick's Day? It all started out with green hats. I think the Cincinnati Reds were the first team to do it, or maybe the Phillies. But now it's full on.
Yeah.
Unis, socks. Guys will get special shoes for it.
Parker is struck out and he's walked. Gossett throws, and there's a pitch low, strike. No balls and 1 strike. Went over to the minor league complex this morning, and I wanted to check in on David Bell. Here's the pitch to Parker. I'm not sure if it was Henry or John Shea this past week did a really great article on David Bell and his new title and changing the whole minor league environment. And of course, when I got over there this morning, David was in a meeting. Swing and a miss, and I said, David, I remember you as a player not really that fond of meetings.
Not a meeting guy.
And he goes, I don't even want to tell you the number of meetings. He told me that I don't know how many minor league players there are, 150, 200.
Well, normally it's 170. This year there's over 220.
He met and sat down in his office with every one of them.
Wow.
And Parker's out looking.
It's a good curveball right there.
And here's Blanco. But I also ran into Gene Klein.
Gene Klein's
Your
former
old
teammate.
Former coach with Dusty Baker. And I saw Billy Hayes. But I had a nice chat with David for about a half an hour. And I think he's going to do great things. I mean, I'm quite biased. But besides that, he's got the pedigree and he's got the wherewithal. And now he's also in Northern California.
Santa Rosa.
Gregor Blanco waiting on Gossett. On the ground, could be a pair. Nice backhand. Lombardozzi over to Beretta, over to Olson, and that's going to end the inning. John Miller will be in. I've had a blast. It's 8-3 A's.
TV. Watch select spring training games live on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. For regular season games, visit MLB.tv for details. We are going to the 7th inning here at Scottsdale Stadium. It is the A's 8, the Giants 3, and once again, here to tell you all about it, my partner John Miller.
All right, Krug, thank you. And Julian Fernandez back for his 2nd inning of work. You see the crowd out there on the grass-covered hillside. And by about this time on what for down here is a fairly cool day, a very mild day, people are looking for some sunshine out there right now. 71 degrees at game time. Fernandez in the dirt way outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. What is your assessment of Fernandez in his inning of work in the 6th?
Well, I mean, he doesn't lack stuff, which is what gets you excited about this guy, but he really struggles with his release point, especially on his breakable. So, I mean, he's a project.
The 1-1 pitch just missing off the outside.
But I mean, that's an easy 96 from a guy 6'6" who's got a high release, and that automatically gives you a tilt. So if he can command the knee-high location with that velocity from that tilt, you're talking about a bad animal.
Joe Paddock, he caught that one before it bounced. 1 away.
See, I think what Fernandez is going to do, I think he's going to perfect the changeup before he perfects the curveball. And I think when he's located the knees with the fastball, if you get a changeup fastball combination and you're consistently down around the knees with his velocity on the fastball, he's going to be able to pitch in the big leagues.
Although, you know, it didn't really seem that way when you watched it actually transpire, but I had him. There's a drive along the left field line off the bat of Matt Olson into the corner. And that's going to be an extra base hit. Pence gets it back in. A double for Olson, his first hit of the game. He's 1 for 3, plus a sacrifice fly. I had 1 curveball, ground ball to third to Longoria.
Yeah, well,
even though it went behind the hitter.
Quite a curveball to Anthony Garcia.
And the other curveball, I remember, struck him out. Although he didn't get him out, the curveball was about, what, 3 feet outside, and the guy who swung at the pitch, he missed it by a foot.
At least a foot.
Runner at second, 1 out. Here is Smolinski, who has doubled home a run and twice struck out. And a pop fly into shallow center field. Crawford. And that is out number 2. Smolinski retired.
Well, here's the 6th inning. Anthony Garcia's up. A breaking ball. That was the first breaking ball that Fernandez had thrown. Hits the bat, and Garcia didn't know where it is. It rolls fair, and Longoria, who never hesitated, came in on the ball like it was a drag bunt, and he makes the play and throws him out.
Yeah, I knew it. I had him. I knew what I was doing.
Chances are they've never seen that play either.
Did you ever get anybody out on a pitch like that?
No.
There's ball 1 now to Sheldon Noyce, who has homered to right center, doubled off the center field wall above the 430 marker, and grounded out to second. That is the pinch runner, Slade Heathcott, over at second base, running for Olson. 8-3, Oakland ahead, 7th inning.
I mean, I've only seen that maybe 3 or 4 times my whole life.
Well, and most of the times I've seen it, same thing. But usually it hits the bat and it's a foul ball. And you laugh about, hey, you got a strike on it when the ball went behind him or over his head, whatever. I don't remember seeing too often where it actually ended up in play and the guy got thrown out on it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Longoria, he was not fooled. Would have been pretty easy seeing the batter duck under it if you're Longoria, just to figure, well, nothing's happening on that one. But as you pointed out, he was right on it. Struck him out. Noyce is gone, and a very powerful 2nd inning for Fernandez. 8-3 Oakland.
on what has been a beautiful St. Patrick's Day here on Saturday. Wind has been very apparent since the first inning of this game. We've seen a lot of wind carry fly balls. It is a good hitter's ballpark. Carry to right center, right field.
A lot of changes for the Athletics in this inning. We'll pass along to you. So Gossett back in for his second inning. Strike one to Stephen Duggar, who has struck out looking, and then he got a bunt single in the fifth inning and ended up at second base with some very daring base running and scored a run. Now a ball inside. So it looks like Oakland made wholesale changes here. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. And that is a foul backing out of play. 1-2.
I think they sent the varsity home.
Heathcott, who came in as a runner for Matt Olson, stays in to play first base for the Athletics. There's a new shortstop, a new third baseman, new left fielder, new center fielder, new right fielder. And there may be some positions that I never even heard of that they have some new people. And it is a new second baseman as well. Now a foul off to the left. So Heathcott now at first, Nate Mondu at second, Kevin Morrell at short, and Will Toffee at third. Greg Diekman in right field. Bolt is in center. Ramirez in left. Into center field. There's the new center fielder, Bolt. And he's got it. That's Sky Bolt. That sounds like a made-up name, doesn't it?
He sounds like an X-Man.
Sky Bolt. He must have great speed with that kind of a name, and probably some superpowers, like you say.
No doubt.
So Bolt caught that one. Duggar is retired. He's 1 for 3. Leadoff man, Joe Panic, and it's 0-1. Panic has flied out to left, singled, and scored a run, and grounded out to second. One ball and 1 strike now. Oakland scored 4 runs right away in the very first inning. And they have been leading throughout in this one. 2-1 the count. The Athletics got 4 in the first, a run in the third, and 2 more in the fourth, and had a 7-0 lead. The Giants got 2 in the fourth and 1 in the fifth, made it 7-3, but Oakland added a run in the sixth, 8-3, and that's the score now as we play here in the Giants half of the 7th inning. Right at the knees on the outside at 93 miles an hour. 2-2.
Man, that look at Joe Panic shaking his head a little bit, not in agreement with that called strike. That down and away knee-high location left-handers today has been a bit inconsistent.
Back to the screen. Yeah, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
You know, we always say umpires have to have spring training too, but it's not a bad thing to have a big strike zone, especially early on in spring.
2-2. Struck him out. He changed up on him.
Good changeup.
2 down. Second strikeout for Gossett in his second inning of work. And here is Brandon Belt. Belt has walked twice, and then he hit a sacrifice fly to knock in Duggar in the 5th inning. So he hadn't even had an official at bat today. No hits, no at bats, but he's been on base twice, and he's knocked in a run. and scored a run. Productive day. Fastball is up.
Well, and it's the type of day that you're going to get a pretty loud applause from your hitting coach.
Off the left side of the backstop, the extension of the backstop. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Athletics will open their regular season against the Angels on Thursday, the 29th, the same day that the Giants open in LA against the Dodgers. That's called a ball. A check swing by Belt. 2-1 the count. And here it is. Check swing, too high.
Hitting coaches, they have a procedure. It's a process all spring long. Come down here, you get your hands in shape, do your tee work, your soft toss, work on your balance, slow lower body, quick hands.
In center field, plenty of room. Bolt. And the Giants go down in order. Now to the 8th inning. 8-3, the Athletics leading the Giants. Eight to 3. Oakland 8 runs, 11 hits. The Giants 3 runs, 5 hits. And for the Giants, Sam Dyson comes into pitch. And an entirely new infield plus a catcher also in the game for the Giants at the same time.
10 hits allowed in 4 2/3 in 5 games for Sam Dyson. So, I mean, look, nobody says a whole lot about a veteran getting roughed up a little bit in spring training. However, Sam Dyson wants a clean inning. He wants to see sinkers, he wants to see ground balls, and he wants to see clean.
He's had 2 outings this week where things did not go well, starting with a game against Oakland in Mesa on Monday. 94-mile-an-hour fastball, 0-1 the count.
When he's right, you're going to see mid to high 90s velocity with sink, and that's what makes him rare. He can also cut the fastball. He's got a little breaking ball and a changeup. But his backbone is that sinker.
Dustin Garneau, the hitter, and he swung at it. 0-2. On deck, Tyler Ramirez, the new left fielder for Oakland. Two-strike count in the dirt.
Remember that conversation we were having early in the game about beyond bizarre? What is the word?
Yeah, like one word for not just bizarre, but beyond bizarre.
Beyond bizarre. Well, Keith Oldman, our pal, was watching the game, and he suggested Kafkaesque.
Wow.
Did I pronounce that right?
He came through big time.
Well, we saw the beyond bizarre Kafkaesque play from the at bat from Anthony Garcia.
And that is strike 3. One away.
Good breaking ball. Well, here is that play. So it is beyond bizarre. And Keith Oberman, thank you for Kafkaesque, because that's what this play was. And it got an out.
It even really looked like the ball started out in foul ground. It started out a foul ball and then rolled along the line into fair ground. And a foul ball. By the way, the catcher for the Giants now is O'Connor, as Hundley is finished for the day. Justin O'Connor. Whole new infield for the Giants. It's Kyle Jensen at first, Miguel Gomez at second, Chase Darno at short, Orlando Caliste at third, and Mac Williamson has come in to play right field. Penn still in left, Duggar still in the center. Sam Dyson to Ramirez, and the count is 0-2. Well, we were showing that Kafkaesque play, and Evan Longoria. Now you were not fooled at all. You immediately saw, oh, that's a ground ball to me. I better hurry and make a great play on that.
Yeah, I mean, I just tried to continue the play. I mean, I didn't really know what happened. I thought it hit his bat. I mean, it very well could have hit his helmet too, but you know, the way he reacted, obviously it didn't hit his helmet, and I mean, I just figured it'd be a free out if it stayed fair, and so I just made sure I tried to pick it up in fair territory.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
No, you stay out here long enough, you'll see just about everything. But that was the first.
Evan, before the game, you were having a conversation with Bruce Bochy about how you want to finish spring training in preparation for the regular season. What were you talking about?
Just trying to pile up some at bats. I missed a couple of games there with the sore ankle, and so kind of pushed the schedule back a little bit. But I mean, I feel good. Body feels good, and it's just about staying out there and piling up some innings and seeing some pitching. And so that's kind of what we were talking about, was just seeing how many at bats we can put together in this last week and a half.
So you're not concerned about the way the spring has gone? Is that enough time for you to be ready?
I feel like I'm always a little concerned. It's a good nervous energy. In spring, when it starts winding down to the end, it starts to speed up on you a little bit, and you start questioning yourself if you are ready. But usually I kind of know about how many at bats it takes, and so I think I'll be pretty close to that.
Are you in the comfort zone? You feel good wearing this uniform?
Yeah. Well, this is a little different today, St. Patty's Day, but yeah, the black and orange feels natural now. I mean, now that the team is starting to dwindle down a little bit, getting to play some innings with the infield that I plan on playing with on a daily basis, and just seeing some of the everyday pitching too helps.
Evan Longoria, a Giant, and I know the fans are thrilled to have you. Many thanks.
All right, thank you guys.
All the best. Evan Longoria will be back. That is the summit of Camelback Mountain, which is not too far from Scottsdale Stadium. That people got up there kind of late, didn't they?
Yeah, then you start thinking about getting down.
It could be a little dicey trying to come down after sundown. But when you're up there, it's like you're on top of the world. Daniel Gossett and Caliste leads off against him. Heathcott, wait a minute, and he just got him. The pitcher, Gossett, was a little bit tardy getting over there, but all is well that ends well. Nick Hundley. Now, when that ball went behind the hitter Garcia, he didn't know what was going on, but you immediately knew, and you started pointing. It looked like you were telling the umpire, now see, it's right out here. It's a fair ball. That's in play.
I was telling him it was a foul ball. Yeah, and then it spun fair. So
well, it was foul.
Yeah, I mean, Longo, what an unbelievably heads-up play. Yeah, I've been impressed just talking to him on the bench about baseball, and then to make a heads-up play like that, really, really cool. So I'm excited about this year with him, just talking shop.
Hey, welcome back, by the way.
Oh man, thanks. It took you 6 weeks to let me know that, but thanks.
Well, I wasn't sure I meant it. Yeah,
yeah, right. No, thank you. It's good to be back. There's nowhere else I want to play than here, so it's fun to be back.
Well, you had an excellent year with the Giants last year, but there was no guarantee you were going to come back. Did you have a lot of offers, and you had to decide what shall I do, or how did it play out?
Yeah, you know, in the beginning of the offseason, I talked to my wife and family, and we discussed a couple places. At this stage in my life, you know, it's I want to win the World Series. So to go to a place that is legitimately trying to win a World Series every single year is very fortunate, especially in this climate of how how some teams are running their businesses. To be on a team that really wants to win it all is really special. So I couldn't pass that up.
2-1 the count here to Chase Darno. Now, you were catching, and a former college teammate of yours, a pitcher, Mark Melancon, now your teammate with the Giants, a closer, his only Major League Baseball plate appearance came with you behind the plate.
Yeah.
And the way I heard it, he walked up to the plate and he was talking smack to you.
Yeah, we were yelling at each other the whole time, and he ended up walking, unfortunately. I would love to see him strike out, but by some miracle, he worked the walk, and now I don't have to, I don't hear the end of it for sure.
So a guy who had never gone to the plate ever in the big leagues walks to the plate, and he's talking smack to you, and he just kept it the whole at bat.
Oh yeah, it was great. I mean, as the pitches were coming in, just like yelling at each other like we used to, for sure.
Right. And in college, you guys were college teammates?
Yeah, we played in college together, and then I faced him a bunch in the big leagues before, so it's fun to be on this side with him. I told him last year, I caught him for the first time in spring training last year in an inning, and that was probably the most fun I've had in a spring training game in my life. So it's fun to be back with him. He's one of my best friends. So I'm excited he's out there healthy and ready to roll.
Now, you caught the young Julian Fernandez.
Yeah.
And tell us about that. I mean, and I know he's talking about a work in progress. He's definitely, but his stuff is electric.
Yeah, I don't know how hard he was throwing today, but it felt like 100. And he's got action too. The ball's got life through the zone. He cuts it every now and then. He's working his secondary pitches, obviously. I like him a lot too on the mound. He seems really composed for a young kid. He's very receptive. He wants to learn, and I like the way he watches the games out here with the guys. So, yeah, I mean, he's got a really bright future.
Well, that's your rookie. Let's talk about the veteran. Sam Dyson has had a couple of rough outings this week. Today he was spectacular. What was the difference?
Yeah, like 2 days ago, I made a couple mechanical adjustments. His stuff's always going to be there, but he looked really clean right there. I mean, throwing to both sides of the plate, a couple backdoor cutters to lefties. He's throwing a little harder. I think with some of the mechanical things he was working on, you see some swings and misses right there. Like the action on his ball is really good. So it's nice that he's getting rolling. And I mean, he'll be ready to go. He's got some of the best stuff of anybody in the league, so we're not worried about him.
What are some of your own keys that you want to accomplish before you head north?
One, definitely stay healthy. Two, go out and and treat it like it's a big league game. Like, get the most out of every single day, like we're preparing to win a World Series. So we're preparing to win a World Series on March 18th. And then tomorrow we're going to do the same thing. And so we got to go out there, and we've done a really good job this spring of really being intense and intent in our work.
Spoken like a kid whose dad was a college football coach.
Yeah, right.
Hunter Pence hit very softly and safe at first, as he often does. Hunter Pence beats out an infield hit with Darno going over to second base. So, you excited about the moves the Giants made in the offseason? I guess it's a silly question because everybody seems to be excited. What about your new teammates?
Yeah, I can't wait to play with them. The experience, like I said, with Longo, talking baseball with him is really impressive. And then the skill set that the outfielders we brought in with Kutch and Austin is going to be really important too. And then obviously we signed Tony Watson late. That really lengthens our bullpen out. Gives us some really big options. Gives us our big arms can pitch in different situations. So we definitely have the talent to do a lot of special things. Now we got to go out there and continue to work and continue to grow.
Really, you're talking about two premier players that the Giants got in terms of Longoria, who's been one of the best third basemen in the American League for years, a Gold Glover, All-Star, and of course McCutchen, who's been an MVP, a perennial All-Star, Gold Glover, you name it, he's done it. One of the best players in the National League for many years.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give our front office a lot of credit. Staff, they've put people around us and given us every opportunity to be successful. Now it's up to us to get out on the field and get it done. There's no excuses. We can play with anybody, and we got the talent. So now it's our job to go out and execute and compete and win games.
And you see the moves right there. Longoria, McCutchen, Austin Jackson, who played over in Goodyear today, had a couple of hits. Tony Watson, as Kyle Jensen, and that pitch is in there. Strike two call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ronnie Jabavi, by the way, at first base is the pinch runner for Hunter Pence. So how about Buster Posey? He didn't play there for a couple of weeks, and he came right back and had a 3-hit game. And he's hitting .467 in the spring so far. Yeah,
hit a homer today. I saw. I mean, it's not that easy, but he's so talented. He makes it look easy. Hadn't played for 2 weeks and comes back and goes 3 for 3. A couple doubles. No, he's the best catcher in the world. So it's fun to play with him and learn from him. But man, Longo got a nice little quick inning. 9 pitches from Dyson. I might have to join you for 10 minutes in this inning. He'll be all right.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, just a few more questions for you, Nick.
Yeah.
1 out, 2 men on here in the 8th inning. And that's called strike 3 in the inside corner. And that's all for Jensen. 2 down. Now tomorrow, Madison Bumgarner makes the start. And have you caught Bumgarner in any of his starts yet?
Yeah, twice this spring. So he's looked really sharp.
He had 22 strikeouts and 1 walk so far in the spring.
Yeah, and he came in like his first bullpen was really crisp too. His focus is, not that he wasn't focused at all last year, but his focus is really supreme right now. So.
Oh, he had that focus on, that game face on when he was standing in line to fill out the P Cup. I mean, he was ready to go early on.
No doubt. From the first physical, from the first pitch, from the first bullpen, first workout, he's been locked in. So he's definitely got a chip on his shoulder. And you're glad he's on your team.
Well, Nick Hundley, somehow, maybe because the Giants played against you for so many years. You started with San Diego in the division. You were with Colorado later on. It seemed like you've been a Giant for a long time. So I'm thinking maybe this kind of marriage was meant to be.
Yeah, it feels like I haven't. The other place I played with a long time ago for sure. So it's nice to be a Giant, and I'll be here as long as they have me for sure.
All men are created equal. Only some become giants. That was an advertising campaign a few years back, and I always liked it.
Yeah, I did too.
Nick Hundley, a Giant, and really the perfect guy to have for an inning that goes on and on and on and on and on like this for one of these spring training interviews. if there's anything else you'd like to add in summation, now's the time.
Yeah, way to jinx it, Johnny.
Oh, sorry. We had so many other questions for him. Nick Cudley, many thanks.
Thanks, guys.
All right. On to the ninth. Has set here in the Valley of the Sun. Giants of the Athletics, the all Bay Area matchup here in the Sonoran Desert. 8-3, Oakland leading. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow, Dwayne Kuiper, and there is Tyler Beede, who comes on for an inning of relief. Beede, who's been groomed as a starter, has always been a starting pitcher, but today being brought in relief in a game that was started by Ty Block.
Well, 24 years of age, a rookie, no experience at the big league level, 6'3", 210-pounder. You watch him pitch, he's got two types of fastball, 2 and 4 seaming, a little between low to mid-90s with the fastball velocity. He's got a changeup, curveball, and a slider.
Nate Mondu fouls one as Caliste comes over, but it's in amongst the spectators, out of play. 12,045, the official paid crowd at Scottsdale Stadium today, a sellout. Giants had a game earlier this week against the Cubs at the Cubs ballpark, which is a bigger ballpark, one of the newest of the ballparks here in the Cactus League, and it was the largest crowd ever for any Cactus League game in any ballpark down here. 15,800 something for the Giants and Cubs. Bumgarner started that game, and the people who were there said it kind of had that regular season feel to it. There's a base hit to right field for Mondu. He turns first, and he'll hold there as Mac Williamson gets it back in. Now Logan Farrar is the pinch hitter for Matt Joyce, the DH. Oakland ahead 8-3 over the Giants. Ronnie Jabavi stays in to play left field after pinch running for Hunter Pence. That was drilled foul by Farrar. Oakland has led for virtually this entire game. They took a 1-0 lead in the second batter of the game. Matt Joyce doubled home Barreto, who had reached on an error by Brandon Crawford, a throwing error, and they've led ever since. They scored 4 runs all told in that first inning. And Beede misses. Tyler Beede's been a highly thought of Giants prospect coming through the minors. He was a first-round draft choice out of Vanderbilt University. Went to the College World Series with Vanderbilt, a Commodore. And that was a beauty.
Everything he has is above average. I mean, he's got 4 good pitches. It's a matter of command, being able to throw those pitches when he needs. For a pitcher at the big league level, you have to throw those curveballs and changeups in fastball counts 2-0, 3-1, 3-2, and believe in them.
Beauty.
Good changeup.
Strikes out Farrar. Now Sky Bolt will come up.
Take a look at the changeup from Beatty. I mean, again, we always talk about what sets up a good changeup. It's arm action, and that is identical to the fastball. That's a good pitch.
Beatty got married last November. And it's off the outside, dropped by O'Connor, the catcher. I asked him about it, if he had a romantic way to propose to his wife, and he really, this was a production. His wife is an actor, and he told her that she was going to be in a music video, a country and western music video. Caliste, he looked at second, but ends up throwing out Bolt, who is a fast runner, at first, with Mondu moving over to second base, so 2 down. So the thing is that in the script, he is playing a character in the script, and he proposes to her in the script, except that was not the script that she had. And then she realized what was going on, and she said yes. And I asked her, I said, I mean, they were filming, right? It kind of been kind of a downer if she'd said no. That's off the glove of O'Connor, and he can't pick it up. So some daring base running there by Mondu, and he moves over to third base.
Well, I mean, you could always edit it out. I mean,
cut.
Yes. Take 2. Let's try this again.
Sweetheart, here's your line. Yes. Maybe some tears if you don't mind. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 down, runner at third. Slade Heathcock, by the way, is a hitter, a former Giants minor leaguer. 2-0 the count. But and I said, so that you went through all that just to set that scenario up? And he said, no, it was actually a real video that was being filmed. There is Mac Williamson. He caught it. He held it just barely. Last chance for the Giants. Last of the ninth, 8-3 Oakland. Of another spectacular sunset here in the desert as Chris Shaw, the pinch hitter facing Gossett, bounces a foul. There's nobody at third base. They've got the overshift on for him. Although the man at shortstop now has moved a little bit closer toward the third base line after that first swing. Shaw, powerful left-handed hitter and the Giants' top power prospect for the minor leagues. He hit 24 home runs in 2 different stops in the minors last year. He's got 2 homers and 3 doubles in 32 at bats this spring. Into the defense. 1 away.
It's been a pretty good spring for him. I mean, he definitely put himself on the map with a couple of at bats that he had that everybody kind of went, who's that? So he has definitely elevated his status within the organization. The downside, if you look at his spring, he strikes out a lot. In 33 at bats, he's got 13 strikeouts.
He doesn't look too happy right there. Grew up in the Boston area, a Red Sox fan. Here is Steven Duggar, who is 1 for 3. And Gossett is low. Gossett into his 4th inning of work. He's not only 1 hit, he's walked a couple, no runs. 8-3, Oakland ahead here in the 9th. Tomorrow, radio only, the Giants and the Rockies at 1:10 on KNBR, the Giants radio network. That's caught by Ramirez, and Duggar is 1 for 4. 2 down. Madison Bumgarner will get the start for the Giants. We were talking with Nick Hunt a little bit about Bumgarner, how he's looked down here. 13 innings pitched. Bumgarner has 22 strikeouts and allowed 1 walk. Here is Miguel Gomez now up for the first time in the leadoff spot where Joe Panik started the game. Panik was 1 for 4. Ball 1.
It was great too that Kelly was talking about the focus that Bumgarner came in with, and it's something that everybody picked up on early on. I mean, early on. We've known Bumgarner since we saw as a young kid breaking into the big leagues, younger than the norm, doing things that they were just quite remarkable, both in the regular season and in the postseason. He was unbelievable. But last year really kind of wore him out.
Along the right field line, Diekman can't get there. Base hit. So Gomez drops one in.
With a serious injury in April and basically cost him just about the whole year, and he was embarrassed by that. So he's coming to camp this year with something to prove.
Justin O'Connor comes up now, the catcher.
He's psyched up. He gets it at bat.
Gossett has allowed now 2 hits in his 3 2/3 innings. A pop-up out of play off the first base side. You and Dwayne Kuiper will have a telecast of a game. Is it Thursday night?
Thursday night.
From down here. And then we'll be back here on NBC Bay Area, the Giants television network, with a day game on Friday. The final game in the Cactus League for the Giants this spring. Back to the backstop. 0-2 to O'Connor. And then the Giants will fly out to California after that game next Friday, or this coming Friday. And they'll play in Sacramento against the River Cats, their AAA affiliate, next Saturday, a week from tonight. I think it's 6:05 start at Raley Field. And that's all for O'Connor and the Giants. Gossett 4 shutout innings to wrap it up for the Athletics, who beat the Giants here 8-3.
Well, there were a lot of good moments in this ball game despite the loss, and I think the one that really jumps off the page for me is Sam Dyson. Sam Dyson, who in 4 innings had given up 10 hits in the last couple outings. I mean, he really kind of socked around, but today he was dominant. A 1-2-3 8th inning where he struck out all 3 hitters. So that's definitely something that the Giants will be very happy about.
So the Giants beaten by the Athletics 8-3 here at Scottsdale Stadium. The Giants also lost over in Goodyear, so they lost both halves of their split squad day. We'll be back